go.
All right, we're live. Welcome to another episode of the Old Carver Fishing Podcast out of Carver, Minnesota. We're here at the bait shop. We have a very exciting show planned for you today, but before that, we'll go around the table. We have Mr. Luke Big Fish Henches, and we have Scott Goodyman, Danny Two Cats, Chewy Godinez Jr., owner of Carver Fishing Bait and Tackle, and the star of the show today, MissFishWhisperer.
Hello.
Yeah. We have the record setter, record breaker, great female fisherman in Minnesota, Miss Katie CORGIAT. So welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me, you guys. This is awesome.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about how you got involved in fishing, or take us way back to the beginning.
To the beginning.
Yes.
Of like Barbie poles and all that.
Barbie poles, button poles.
Yeah. So I started when I was 3. Very first time, just off the dock. My dad loved it. My mom loved it. And my first fish ever was a pike.
Nice.
I was like playing around with the little sunnies. All of a sudden it came up and grabbed it. So that was fun. So started there. We didn't have a boat growing up. So it was a lot of shore fishing, bank fishing. And I was just the curious girl that would like go up to people and be like, hey, what are you using? What are you doing? Can I learn from you? I'm just going to like watch you for a while. So that's really how it started. And then it just turned into kind of a passion. I think like when I was in college, just really started fishing like crazy.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
And all species, any fish you can possibly think of. I love going
Tell
after
us
it.
how many.
102 species to date.
Wow.
Ooh.
That's impressive.
It's a big number.
Big number. Tell us this summer, what have you been up to with fishing? I know we fished together in the WAM, the Women Anglers of Minnesota tournament. You kicked my butt. She put on an absolute clinic. What was your total inches? She was first place.
Yeah.
So 103.5 inches.
Look at you. I'm
Girl,
impressed.
I did my research. I have my
Sure
notes
did.
sitting here.
Yeah, so that was really cool because Tara and I didn't know each other. Like we knew each other through social media, had never met in person. And then we had this awesome event in La Crosse, Wisconsin. It's called the Border Battle between Women Anglers of Minnesota and Wisconsin fishermen, fisher gals. And so the whole idea was like, who's going to win the trophy, Minnesota or Wisconsin, right? But everyone was trying to like contribute and get the fish. And I don't know what was going on for me. I just had a lucky day.
A clinic.
It was ridiculous.
Yep.
I mean, it was like almost every cast I was getting a bumper fish. And so throwing a lot of crankbaits, jerkbaits, and everyone was fishing on this float in La Crosse. And I'm like, that shore looks really good. All these rocks.
Yeah.
So I was like doing some ninja maneuvers, trying to like jump all the way to this bank and then run every fish back to the float and have it verified by someone. So everyone's just like looking at me like, please don't fall in the water. We don't want to rescue someone today.
Right. I remember we were all lined up on the dock and we were all catching little dinky walleye, and we were just trying to get qualified. So it was 2 species to be qualified. And I remember looking over and I was like, who is that brunette girl who keeps doing laps? We're coming in to get verified, running back. It was just fish after fish. You also got first place in walleye, first place in bass.
Yeah, took home some cash. So that was really cool. But you know what? Like you and I bonded on this, right? Like lifting other women up in the industry is just such a cool thing. And so there were about 70 women that were competing in that tournament, which was just awesome. Like we took over the float. Women were cheering each other on. Didn't matter if they were Minnesota or Wisconsin. So that was kind of a cool thing to see and just be a part of, Like I've never been a part of a tournament where everyone's there talking, smack talking, like lifting each other up. So that was a great event.
It was. Tell them how it ended.
How did
with a sturgeon.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So there's this gal, like we were all just kind of waiting to get off the float, and there was this gal who hooked this massive sturgeon, and she's never like caught one before, really. So she didn't know what she was doing. She's like, I'm just holding on for dear life. And so Tara was like giving her some coaching. I was giving her some coaching. We're like, everyone's yelling at her. This poor girl's just not even knowing what's happening.
I'm saying it was like she was in labor. We were all around her just cheering her on. It was great.
Yeah. And so I grabbed the net and I'm like, I'm ready for this thing. We just got to get it to the dock. And she fought it for what do you think, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that. Yeah. And it just kept running into the current. Finally got it in, and what was it? It was like 52, 53 inches. It was a nice sturgeon. So, and she was just like, didn't even know what to think. She was so excited.
Was that your first time fishing the float?
Yeah, that was
pretty
my first
cool
time.
out there.
Oh my gosh.
Do you fish there a lot nowadays?
I've gone a couple times.
I was gonna say, I've seen some pictures.
Yeah,
I
I've
was
gone
like,
back
oh,
a couple times.
Go
Well,
back.
Everything's out there. It's
Mhm.
crazy.
You can catch anything and
Yeah.
everything. And I mean, it really depends on the time of year too,
Yeah.
right? Because like early season, March, April, I think is probably prime time.
And
And,
if you-
then fall.
If you guys are watching this, you're not familiar with the float. So there's a float out in La Crosse, Wisconsin, and it's actually below the dam on the Mississippi River. And what they do is you park at the boat ramp there, and they actually come and grab you in the pontoon, and they haul you back over across the river, upriver a little bit to the dam. And they got a restaurant out there, a floating restaurant in the middle of the dock. They sell hot dogs and burgers, sodas. So they have tackle in there.
That
Yeah.
sounds
And you're just on a
Everything
floating
you
dock.
need.
And
Right.
we should do that some night for the podcast. I think that'd be really
Oh,
fun
you guys should go.
to go do it out on the float. And they're super nice. The guy that runs it's super nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
And,
family owned.
Yeah.
We went out there. We caught a whole bunch of fish last time we were there, and it's pretty neat place. It's if you've never done a float out like that in the Mississippi, it's cool. You can catch anything off that dock, and then you can go to the bank and stuff when the water's right. You can walk on the bank there and
Mhm.
throw some
Mhm.
stuff like she was talking about.
Yep.
Everything, dude.
Really?
It's crazy cool.
Yeah, I
Yep.
mean, when I went there, I caught, let's see, white bass, perch, bluegill, walleye, sauger, pike, smallmouth,
Yep.
largemouth,
Yeah.
Everything.
all the
one
above.
on
Yeah.
sucker. Yeah.
Sucker,
So
yeah.
And it's on a perfect seam too. So if you're fishing the dock, there's a perfect eddy and stuff where all those fish are hanging out anyways. And when you come in shallower, you can catch those smallmouth, those largemouth, everything, dude. It's
Mhm.
crazy.
Yep. Katie found them.
What is-
Sure did.
what
My
is-
chance, yeah.
What is your favorite species to go after? Do you have one?
Oh, yes, I do, and it's changed. So, like, I have loved pike my entire life, and I do still. You know, some people like totally just hate them. They're
Yeah.
gross and smell. And
Yeah.
They're
some
fun.
of my bass friends, they just are like, ew, don't even bring it in the boat. But they are fun, and I love catching the big ones. Like, my largest ever was a 45-incher, and
Whew.
so that was a tank that was up on the Mississippi, a few hours up north. Yep. But now I've been really passionate about smallmouth. So
Yeah.
there's just something about them. I mean, they're feisty, they're
fight.
temperamental. Yeah, they fight so hard.
They're beautiful fish
They
too.
They
are. They're gorgeous. I mean, and like around spawn too, those eyes get so red and orange, and so it's just cool. And then saltwater sharks for sure.
Oh
I-
gosh, we got to talk about this.
We can get into saltwater later. I mean, we got a lot to talk about
Yeah.
today.
I know. I'm just rolling. I have so many things.
Tara's really excited. I mean,
I want to show the
yeah,
notebook.
show it.
just a
Show it
little
real
bit.
quick.
Oh.
Look at-
I
Bring it closer,
researched
bring it
Katie. She has too much to research. I had to put it on a
I mean,
page.
Tara did her homework.
I really wish I had my piece of paper from
Yeah.
Chris Flores.
Yeah.
Because that really just puts it to shame.
You might-
Katie, did you grow up in Minnesota?
I did, don't you know?
What part of Minnesota? You don't have to say exactly,
No,
but
the Southwest Metro has been
Oh,
my
okay.
home for pretty much the whole time. But my parents are from Wisconsin, so all my extended family's in Wisconsin. I'm a
Okay.
cheesehead, but
oofda.
yeah.
Oofda.
Oofda.
Should I leave now?
Good thing I didn't bring Pat in today, huh?
Well, thanks for joining us.
You didn't bring any spotted cow.
No.
I could go for
Wait,
some
wait.
squeaky
She doesn't
cheese
drink
curds.
water. Straight
Right.
water.
Water.
Yeah.
She's on a health kick.
I
Yep.
am.
Yep.
I should be, but
So you got in. How long have you been in Women Anglers of Minnesota?
Oh, that's been like probably like 6-7 years now.
Oh,
I
you've been
think.
in a long time.
I have. I haven't been that active. I'll be honest about it. I mean, I've done a couple of the tournaments and met some of the women there, and like my mom and I joined too, and we did a mother-daughter tournament together. That was cool.
Yeah,
that's
that's
awesome.
cool.
That was awesome. And then
Cute.
yeah, so that was really a good experience. Shout out to mom. Love you. So that's cool. But yeah, it's amazing how much the WAM has like grown since I joined. Because I think
Yep.
when I joined, there were probably like 300 members, and now we have over 1,000.
Mhm.
So
Oh, there's
it is-
that many,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah,
It's
That
cool.
was just this year
really
we hit
grown
1,000.
a lot
Yeah.
in the last like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
That's
it has.
crazy.
The
Yeah.
involvement is growing too. Which
Yeah,
is great
it used to
see.
just be a couple like events here and there, and then they'd have this big open water tournament every year. That's a multi-species tournament. Did you do that this year?
Mm-mm.
No,
Nope.
I didn't get to either. But now they do like educational events. They do different clinics, fly fishing, ice fishing,
Ice
what have
Fishing
you.
101. That was a
Yeah,
hit too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
So
They
if
have a lot
if
of-
you're a lady and you're watching, go check it out. Women Anglers
Oh.
of Minnesota.
absolutely,
Get
please.
discounts on gear. They get
Mhm.
a lot of good stuff going for them. Like a lot of seminars.
Yep.
Yeah, and I was going to say the really nice part about Women Anglers in Minnesota too is there are people there that are literally all age ranges, like
You know?
Mhm.
teenagers all the way up to 70 plus years old, and people who are just starting fishing and might
Yeah.
not even know like where to start,
Right.
to people who are pro level. So it is really
Yeah.
a cool dynamic.
Yeah. Speaking of Wham, tell us how many master angler fish you have in Wham.
So for this last year, I think I hit 13 master angler sized
Wow.
fish.
Mhm.
And so for people who don't know what a master angler is, it's just basically the length of the fish dictates like it's a trophy fish. So I don't know. It was a banner year.
Sure was.
So
Sure
we'll see.
was.
We'll
Is
see
it
what this year
the point challenge one?
Yeah, so those two kind of go hand in hand. Oh yeah, look at that.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah. So there's a tournament. Last year was the first time they did it, called Wham Slam. I think it was kind of spun out of COVID, right?
Mhm.
So it's a virtual tournament. It starts typically from March, goes all the way through October. And last year, I think there were 14 different species. This year, I believe there's 17.
Yep.
But basically, you can kind of call throughout the season. You get 1, 2, or 3 points based upon the length of the fish. And that 3-point fish is a master angler size fish. So
Mhm.
they do kind of go hand in hand. So Tara and I are competing this year.
Yeah.
Last year, I took 3rd place. And I think we have like 150 anglers now that are competing so far.
Wow.
So
And fish entered constantly, which is great.
it is that fish donkey sound, the hee-haw goes off all the
I hear
time.
that.
Yeah. Luke's figuring that out this year too.
Mhm.
That donkey is a good noise.
It is.
Most of the time.
Well, it's not always a
Most
good
of the
noise.
time.
It's
Not for competition.
True.
All right, let's see what we have in chat here. We got Mark.
Just,
Oh, we
Jay.
got catfish and crappie.
What's up, Mark?
What's up?
Mark Prish. What's going on, Mark? 992 Crappie Barbecue. What's going on? How we doing today? Watched on my TV. Good show, folks. Thanks, Mark.
Chris Flores.
Chris Flores is in the
Muddy
house.
River catfishing in the house.
Yeah.
You
Love
guys
that.
don't-
There goes
Yeah.
Dan.
Dan's still the biggest fan in the world, Chris.
Cheerleader.
Just about another ad,
Chris,
Chris. You're
yeah.
welcome.
Well, Chris said he was hoping he was going to say catfish when I asked her for what her favorite species was.
Oh, no.
I'm like the least experienced probably at this table when it comes to catfish. So.
I don't
That's
know.
okay. She still has master
Oh my
angler and
God.
flathead and chance.
You got me here, so
Oh.
Holly Maurer.
Go Wham! Woo-hoo!
Go Wham!
All right, Whammy represent.
We got Jay Johnson in the house, too.
What's up,
Jay
Jay?
Johnson. Jay Fishes.
What's going on, Jay?
What's going on, brother?
All right. So out of those master angler fish, you gotta tell me, what's your favorite one?
Now it's
Most
loaded. Now I have to say
memorable.
catfish, right?
Right.
Actually, I will say catfish, and here's why. Not to be a tearjerker, but so last year I lost my dad. He had a 3-year battle with cancer, and so that tournament, that Wham Slam tournament, was actually going on kind of towards the last few months of his life, and I was his caretaker. So I would try and sneak out every once in a while and get out on the water for like an hour or so and get something going.
Mhm.
And so he passed in August, and I wasn't ready to get back on the water for a little bit, right? But my dad and I used to fish together a lot too, and so a couple friends of mine, Jason and Scotty, they were like, "Hey, whenever you're ready, let's go." And so I went out with them in September, and it was like the date was the anniversary of when he was first diagnosed with cancer 3 years ago. And that's when I caught that flathead catfish. I had never caught a flatty in my entire life. We went out to Pool 4 and we were fishing there, and we were like just kind of trying to figure things out. None of us really are experts when it comes to catfishing.
Yeah.
I caught that thing on a Dubuque rig. I was trying to troll for walleye.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I had 2 jigs down. I had a plastic on the big one, and I just had a sucker minnow. And all of a sudden, I thought I snagged a big boulder, and I'm like, hook sets are free. Why not? set the hook.
Yeah.
Set
Yep.
the hook, and man, it just pulled. And so I couldn't believe it. I think it was like 38 inches or something.
Let
like
me
that.
tell you, it's
probably
in my
have the
notes.
notes.
It's
It's a nice
38.25 inches.
Yeah.
Tell people what a Dubuque rig is if they're not familiar.
Yeah, so Dubuque rig is something that, depending upon the waters that you're in, it might be legal, might not be. But it's typically a swivel, a 3-way swivel, and then you connect 2 lines to it. And the nice part about that is you can have basically the lines are at separate lengths or different lengths. So like one of them is a little bit longer and a heavier jig, and that acts as kind of your base, and you can drag that on the bottom for current, current seams and what have you. You're looking for walleye ideally, right? Or catfish if you're like me. And then there's a lighter jig that typically, some people like to use live bait, right? And just exclusively, but that one floats higher up in the water column. And so that gets the fish's attention that are suspended. So it is a really impactful thing to use on the river for sure. It's
So
something that I
similar to
learned
running
last
like
year.
Great
a
for
floating
pool
jig
four.
head then, or
Yep,
for pool
exactly.
for.
Yeah,
She is.
exactly. Oh, yep. There's the cat
Oh
right
my
there.
gosh.
Oh, I was freaking.
that thing's as tall as you.
Did
you have
Oh my
trouble
God,
holding
it
that?
is. It is
No,
almost as tall as
actually.
her, as long as she is.
Mhm.
Yeah, I could not believe it. So that was a day and a half for sure. And it bent the jig, completely bent the hook, and the hook popped out right as we got it in the net. So it was meant to be.
Yeah,
I love that.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
That's
it's
cool.
awesome.
Yep. So Dad was there for sure.
Do you think that's your most memorable fish?
I think it's one of them. I have a few pretty good stories.
You've got a
but-
fish that we can start getting into saltwater, but you caught one. I don't know if you caught it or it was a group catch, but you caught a fish that's on number 1 on my bucket list.
Is it sawfish?
It is.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they're federally protected, but you can accidentally catch them. It's a real thing, and a lot of people don't catch them.
Do you want me to tell the story?
I
Because it
do.
is an
So-
epic story.
You have pictures of that fish,
I got a
right?
video.
So here's the cool thing, guys. This fish
I love this.
federally protected throughout the world, I believe.
Monster.
He's huge.
Oh my god.
Look
That
at
is
this fish.
beautiful.
Look at this fish. Finally get Wow. Wow.
Holy sh. Oh my god, I wish I had a tag.
Oh.
Look how big he is. Look. Seriously, measure him. He's like 15 foot long.
He's like as long as this boat.
I'm not kidding.
Oh, he's going down. He's going down.
Okay.
And it dragged us over 3 miles from where we started.
That's so cool.
And
Wow.
so, the Florida version of the DNR is called FWC, Fish and
Yeah.
Wildlife, right? So because they're protected, I sent in all the footage, all the photos, everything. I'm like, and they called me and they basically had me do a questionnaire and they did a
Yep.
survey and everything. So their estimate was over 1,000 pounds and 18 feet long.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big
Wow.
fish.
That gave me goosebumps.
And people don't know. So their mouth is in the beginning of their rostrum, guys, and it's covered in like they're considered teeth, I guess. But they I don't even know. I don't know if I read something that they don't really know what they use them for. Do they poke bait? Do they
So-
poke fish with them?
Yeah, Basically, what they'll do is they'll go into like a school of bait fish or smaller fish, and they'll swing that
Trash.
rostrum from side to
So
side.
cool.
It is so
Wow.
cool. And the captain that I fished with, shout out to Captain John because he is awesome. I've caught my largest fish ever with him. But he was just like, keep your hands like away from this thing because it is dangerous when it swings that rostrum. And it swung so hard it actually went through the gel coat on his boat.
I'm not surprised.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's my
Whoa.
He's
number.
like, it's a souvenir.
That's number 1 on my list.
Oh my
I've completed a
gosh.
lot of my list, and that's like it. Like, and I can't say I'm targeting sawfish because it's technically illegal to target them.
Right.
Like, you can't really target them anyways. There's so not many of them.
No,
They're
no.
so scarce. You have to report them when you catch one, and then, like she said, they call you, they go
Yeah.
a bunch of questions with you where you caught it. It's freaking sweet.
That specific species, they estimate that there are less than 200 adults left,
Wow.
which is crazy. So it's literally like catching a unicorn in the
Yeah.
ocean.
Yep.
Yeah, and there is no way to target them. I mean, like
Did they give you an age? I'm sorry.
no,
An estimate?
no, I should have asked. I didn't ask that, but
They don't know a lot about them, I don't think.
They don't. No, I know it's kind of like the Loch Ness monster.
Yeah.
Are they popular in the black market?
No, dude, you just don't see them.
Okay.
I think they might have used to be. Maybe
think
that's why
they-
they're
yeah.
so.
That's probably why they're
because
endangered.
because of the bill.
I had a
the
similar
rostrum.
Yeah.
feeling, not as cool as her feeling, but when I caught a pallid sturgeon because they're on the threatened list now.
Oh, that's cool.
But you catch them in the Missouri relatively frequently compared to anywhere else in the country.
Yeah.
But you can tell by they look like a shovel nose. They're usually lighter in color. You can't go by color when you ID a fish, but their barbels have different lengths. So like if the 2 outside ones are really long and the 2 inner ones are short, it's one or the other. And if they're equal or close to equal, it's the other species. And mine was like
Wow.
almost it was 40 something inches long. It was a pretty decent sized pallid sturgeon,
Wow.
but not nearly as cool as a sawfish.
Well, I haven't caught one of those. That sounds cool too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sawfish was incredible.
So how did that happen? Like back
we
up.
were fishing for sharks. I mean, like you said, there's really no way to target it.
right.
But the crazy thing is that was in 6 feet of water. That's it. So there was a sandbar that we were on, and the time of year was like May, June time frame. So all the sharks were coming in for spawning and all that good stuff. So there were a lot of different species there. I actually thought at first I hooked a tiger because there had been a couple big tigers that were in the area, and I haven't caught one yet. I really want one too. But the way that thing was just like sheer weight, and it wasn't like super fast runs either. It was just kind of the steady
Like a nurse
pull.
shark fight,
Yeah,
right? You've caught a nurse shark?
I have.
A little
yes.
gummy mouth.
Yes.
That was my first
exactly.
shark.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Caught it on like a medium rig for snapper, and I got it in. It's probably 200 plus pounds, but
a big
it
fish.
slow pulls almost like a sturgeon does.
Yeah.
Not like a normal predator shark that
Mm.
just
That's
screaming.
just it.
Yeah.
Like, and with those big predator sharks, usually they'll like quick do a 180 on you
Yeah.
and come right back at you.
Yeah.
And this did do it once where I thought I lost it, and I'm like, oh. And then all of a sudden I just started reeling in the slack, and sure enough, it did.
Did you have to hand off a couple times?
Mm-mm.
You did it all
I
yourself.
know,
Ooh.
I was like,
Oh.
nope.
What a champion.
Yep.
Dang.
Katie
I would have
Corgett
handed that
here.
rod off in 2 seconds.
So I box so that I can. do
Oh,
this kind
you're
of stuff.
strong.
Yeah, yeah.
If I ever have a problem with Tara, I'll just send you on her.
Oh, maybe I'll teach Tara a few moves to put on you.
Bro, we ain't going there today. So tell us about this grouper.
Oh
Yeah.
Tell us that story.
That's what I want to hear
Yeah,
about.
so
Yeah.
same captain. So that was same captain. I actually caught that I think like a year before the sawfish. I had never caught a Goliath grouper. So for anyone who hears grouper, you think like, oh yum, table fare. Yeah, absolutely. But Goliath grouper get a lot bigger.
Mhm.
Until recently, they were completely protected. Now Florida's considering like opening up a season for them because if you think about it,
Well, they're destroying reefs right
they
now.
are. Think about how big they
eat
are.
everything.
They eat everything in
Yeah.
sight, and there's so many of them now that they are literally wiping out reefs and wrecks of fish.
Yeah.
So I was out shark fishing, and I think I have a photo in here at some point of it. It looks like a manatee, basically. I'll see if I can help you. But we were out shark fishing. I was hooked up with about a 6-foot hammerhead, foul hooked. I didn't know it at the time, so it felt like a monster. And my friend Becky was hooked up with about a 4-foot blacktip, and she's like 70 some years old. She's just this powerhouse of a woman. She had never caught a shark before, and so this was her first shark. So she gets her shark up next to the boat, and we see a shadow, and I had a GoPro going, and the captain's like, quick, give me the GoPro. Sticks it under the water. We get on footage, and I wish I had sent it to you, but we get on video a Goliath grouper taking her 4-foot shark and inhaling it.
That's so
So
cool.
it like snapped the shark's neck. It's completely bent in half in this Goliath's
What?
mouth.
Right, Chewy? That's what
Wow.
I'm
So
saying.
it's interesting because when you see them,
It's just
when
unheard of.
you see them in videos and stuff, they look huge, but they're way. When you get the giant size like that, they're way bigger than you think. I mean, they're taller than this table. I mean, they're
Yeah,
like
it could literally, I could fit in its mouth
easily.
no problem.
Yeah.
No problem at all. So we're all freaking out. Like, what just happened? Well, it didn't like that there was pressure on the end of the line. So it actually did spit the shark out. Cause when they get that big, they're kind of lazy. They're like opportunists.
Extremely.
You know, that's
Mhm.
why you throw cut bait and stuff for them. But so I said to the captain, I'm like, I want this Goliath. And he said, well, get your hammerhead in first and then we'll talk. I'm like, okay. So I did. So I got the hammerhead in. We went back to the spot. I took a catfish, live catfish, dropped it down. We were just checking the gear, and all of a sudden the rod went like right away. And so it was tug of war for about a half an hour. And same thing. I was like, he's like, do you need help? Do you want help? I'm like, nope. I want to either get it or
She
not.
don't need no help.
Nope. Exactly. So it did take quite some time, but yep, was able to get it up, and it's estimated about 500 pounds.
Wow.
It's
Yep.
a big one.
So that's
Yeah.
my, other
Yeah.
than a shark, like that's my biggest fish that I've caught so far. So
Wow. Yeah, I sent that video to the guys today. I was like, y'all need to watch this before you meet this girl.
Yeah, someone else I know just caught a sawfish.
really?
Was it
Oh, I think I saw one on social media too.
his name's
Mhm.
he used to fish the float a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He used to be there every weekend. He used to fish the float, and he was down in Florida and got one.
Yeah, that is so.
So he was
so
shore
cool.
fishing for sharks when he caught it.
It's amazing, but they do like the sandbars for some reason.
What part of
There's-
Florida were you
Huh.
fishing in?
I was down on the Gulf side, and I was kind of south of like Naples area by about an hour. So like
Okay.
Marco Island area,
Okay.
which is a great fishery.
I fished
So-
Nokomis or Venice Beach,
Okay,
just south of
never been.
Sarasota,
That's awesome.
north of
too.
Fort Myers.
Have any of you guys ever done salt?
I have not.
Girl, no. I'm mind blown over here.
Oh.
Someday.
It's hard to
Someday I'll go,
like,
but
like we talked about it before the podcast. It's hard to explain how much harder they fight every fish.
Every single fish.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
like your drag will be going, and you're like, oh man, this is gonna be awesome, and you bring it in, and it's a fish like this.
Yeah,
Like,
a 2-pound
Really?
a 2-pound blue runner on a walleye rod will almost spool you.
yeah, it's crazy.
This big of a fish will almost spool you
Yeah.
on a walleye rod. It's stupid.
It
sounds
sure
fun
is.
though.
And
When
then
we
you
going?
if you're too slow and you're on a wreck or a reef, you're gonna get sharked half the time too. So you got to be fast at reeling them in.
They call him the tax man for a
Yeah,
reason.
exactly.
Like half your fish is gone.
I pulled up a Jack Crevalle.
Yep.
And it completely bit in half.
Wow.
That's not uncommon.
Yeah.
It really isn't.
And I didn't feel it. That's the thing. It
Oh.
was a little jerk, but I'm like, what happened? And then it stopped biting. I pulled up and it's just cut in half.
Oh my
He's
god.
like, oh.
You know what? Barracuda do that too. The
Yeah.
barracuda
Yeah.
are very aggressive down there, and they have some nasty teeth.
It's hard to fool. We had a super giant cuda swimming around the boat. We were like 20 something miles out last year. I could not get that thing to roll on anything.
Really?
I think I just needed some type of live bait or something because he didn't want any jerk bait or nothing like that. James Dockery's in the house. What's up, James?
Hey.
Maurice Kaysen, the #1 supporter of my live streams forever since I've done it for 8 years. Maurice has been in my live streams.
Well, we got Tim, big flathead guy was checking fish donkey today.
Oh,
Ooh. Right?
G style. What's going on?
Pre-game party.
Yes, Don. He's such a hyper.
When's
I
your
love
next
it.
trip to Florida?
Hopefully soon. I mean, I love going down and like this time,
Yeah.
but didn't plan anything this year. So we'll see. I am going to fish Lake Michigan in a couple weeks though. So
Oh, nice.
that's a good consolation prize.
For
There you go.
Kings?
Kings, Cohos,
Yeah.
Steelhead, Lakers, hopefully. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Tell you what, you can't beat a coho in taste. They're so freaking good. I
They
love
are.
big Kings. I like Kings too, but
You'd
those
take any
cohos
of
are
them.
so freaking. The cohos don't get huge, but they're the most delicious little nuggets of fish you'll ever eat.
You know what? So people like poo-poo the lake trout because they're so oily, but I love making fish dip out of them. They're so
Smoke
good.
it.
Yeah.
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 I don't know. I pretty much just fish out royal now for lake trout. Have you been out there yet?
Mm-mm.
And everything's just giant out there. So
That's cool.
if you like jigging,
yeah, I do.
we just vertical jig.
Okay. Yeah, we were doing a lot of trolling last year I went out to Lake Michigan as well, and in one day I got 4 master anglerfish.
Yeah, girl. I
Yeah, it
gonna
was
say.
Pretty
ridiculous.
cool.
It was ridiculous.
You enjoy
Yeah, yeah.
trolling?
No.
Because I don't at all.
Nope, I gotta be honest.
It's
absolutely
very
not.
okay. It's very productive. If you guys don't know, when you go out into the Great Lakes and you're fishing lake trout and kings and cohos, steelheads, you're pulling all these flashers, you're pulling all these spoons and
Downriggers and
down,
stuff.
you're
or
down
what?
rigging, you're
Right.
doing whatever, and you have a bunch of rods out, and it's cool, but man, it's way funner when you can cast for fish.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a lot of like you don't want to poo-poo that it's a lot of work to get those set up, but
Yeah.
it's not a lot of skill once you get them set
That's
up.
exactly
right.
right.
Like, there's something
You're not
way
fooling
more
the
rewarding.
fish.
Yeah, there's
Well,
something way more rewarding
yeah.
when you have to work for it.
That's why when we went out to Otterroll and everyone's trolling when we were out there last year, and the first day I got a 38. That was my PB lake trout,
Huge.
and I was like, we were gonna troll. We brought all the trolling stuff. We didn't troll. I think we trolled maybe an hour in 3 days because we found the spot where we were jigging them, and then my buddy Kent got a 42. And it's just like, dude, why would you want to even troll when you can just sit on top of them and rip
Right.
jig? You're just rip jigging
Yeah, that's
huge
cool.
paddle tails, and it's just boom when you're grabbing it. It was so fun. It's hard. It's one of my favorite places to go.
I just want to get a waker through the ice.
That would be cool. I that's a bucket list thing for me
It's
too.
mine.
Like you see people getting them
That's-
on tubes and stuff
Yeah.
too through the ice. Like, what?
G Style wants to know I don't know if he's
Big
talking to you. He
spoons.
might be talking to you specifically. If you've had your gear fail and had to hand line a fish,
I have in Florida. I actually had to handline a shark.
It just gets
Were you
more
running
interesting.
were you running mono? Hopefully,
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was good, and I had gloves on,
Yeah.
so that at least helped. But
Oh, I
I'm
was gonna
like,
say, no way, dude.
how about those people that hand rope groupers?
oh my gosh, it's crazy. I know. It's like you are risking your life.
Yeah.
I mean,
Have you guys seen that? They'll
mm-mm.
put a big
No.
live like a bonita or something or a dead one, and they'll just throw it off a dock in front of a grouper, and it'll be just tied to a rope, like an anchor rope.
Yep.
And they'll pick it up, and then they'll fight it like tug of war.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And it's like you take one wrong step and
Yeah, you're
Get it
going
wrapped
in.
around your ankle.
Dude, you
Right.
gotta be. It's
And, like,
cool.
even that Goliath that I caught. So I was fighting it off the back of the boat for a good chunk of the time. And that stress from that fish actually put a crack in the back of our boat. So we're offshore. We start taking on water. We were fishing for sharks. There's literally fins everywhere. I'm like, we need a bigger boat. Like, oh my God. It was bad. Yeah, it was a little scary. And
We had our side of our boat start cracking when we were trying to pull a giant ray off the bottom. We hooked it shark fishing and it suctioned to the bottom. I'm sure you've experienced that.
Sure have, yep.
And it took all 250 horsepower and a 5-foot shark rod with rollers, fully cinched, grabbing the spool with the throttle, and the rod just the boat started going crack, crack, crack. I'm like, because that rays, they flutter on the bottom and suction cup. And dude, it's so hard. If they don't want to come off the bottom, it's extremely difficult to get them off the bottom.
Yeah, it's impressive how strong they
Yeah,
can be.
it's then once you get them off, and then it's just like whatever,
How does the boat crack?
it's fiberglass.
Yeah.
Talking your
So
mic.
it's just the pressure.
Yeah, so it was
Sorry, I was sitting back and
one of
listening.
the metal sleeved rod holders in the fiberglass, and that started cracking out the boat.
Wow.
And it's a 24-foot boat. Is
Gosh, I gotta try this.
Yeah,
That's what
once
I'm
you once you
thinking.
do saltwater, I mean,
Oh, it's so
honestly,
awesome.
it's like it spoils you because it's still great to catch a sunfish, but you're like, really?
that's like the one place I considered like. This is my brother lives there now.
Mhm.
He works in Sarasota,
Okay.
and he's like, you should just move down here and do YouTube here, because it's the hate. I could catch as many fish as I want in Florida. I mean, people that do YouTube in Florida have the most fortunate. It's stupid.
There's a lot of species.
There are a lot of species, and you can actually, believe it or not, you can do it on the cheap because I think that's one of the things. Like, you have to get there, right? But that's one of the things that people ask me all the time. It's like, well, I mean, are you always having to go with really expensive guides? And I mean, sure, if you're going offshore, you
Yeah.
need to be with someone who knows what they're doing, so
Yeah.
then you're not in a bad situation. But you can literally go to like a Walmart down there and buy one of those Shakespeare Tiger rod reel combos for
Right.
about $15. And then you just do a simple like slip weight and a bare hook and use live shrimp off of the beach, and you can catch
Yeah.
like 15 different species
Yeah,
of
we
fish
just, like,
and sharks.
Wow.
We drop shot a shrimp half the time.
Yeah.
Just 6 inches above your weight hanging down. You can catch anything.
You can. I mean, I've
It's
pulled in
dumb.
4 or 5 foot sharks off the beach on that little setup.
Yeah.
I've caught, keeper fish where you cut them up and eat them. It's amazing.
It
It
is.
really is.
Yep, I agree. I want to go back now that we're talking
Think I might
about
have
it.
to go
I'm
to Florida.
saying.
Right?
I'm saying.
Oh,
like,
actually,
I-
there's
I don't
there's
work
a
this weekend.
there's a good photo. Go back up. So one
There's a
example
mahi.
of there's the pink
Oh, there
one.
it is right there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there it is.
yeah,
Oh yeah, here's the
Polaroid.
Goliath.
Here it goes.
Here's the Goliath.
Oh,
Oh,
right.
God, that's so
Yeah,
cute.
thing was big.
Oh, I could easily swallow.
know what?
that.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say nothing earlier, but that's my target fish. That's what I want to catch.
Was there
Yeah.
sharks
The
around
the first
you?
time I saw that?
So you couldn't get in with it?
No, I wanted to get in with
Oh,
it,
that'd
but
be
no.
so
I mean, I had
cool.
just caught that hammerhead there too. I'm like,
Yeah.
There used to be a show, and I never missed this show on the World Fishing Network called Spanish Fly with Jose Wehebe, I think his name was. He's a fly fisherman. But there's a clip there's a clip that just showed where he ties a chicken, just a whole
Oh, I've
chicken
seen
or
those.
a fish. I don't remember which one it was, and he just dropped it over with the boat.
Yep.
And then as soon as it got it, he's just holding onto it. He's just
Yeah.
And that's when I first saw it.
Yeah, those things
Dude,
are
they're
insane.
cool. They sound.
They
They
are
literally.
cool.
I've wanted. That was number one on my list. But now that my back's gotten bad,
Mm.
I don't want to really catch one anymore because it'll be a back killer.
Oh,
White
it is-
white
it
sturgeon
is
kill
intense.
my back.
Yeah.
I've handed off every big white sturgeon. The last 6 I've had on, I've handed off because
Really?
my back hurts so bad.
Yeah, because I mean, I really like that fish was 3+ times my size, so I was like,
Right.
but I really want to do
You're
this.
mini.
Yeah, and so I
Dude.
wasn't like strapped in, but I did have a strap to kind of have
Look
a
at that.
fulcrum.
I mean,
point.
that's an oversized Goliath, though. That's a huge.
That
Oh
is
yeah,
a
that's
huge
it. Yeah,
Goliath.
Just so you guys know, there are smaller ones. That's a really big Goliath.
that's a big Goliath. Yeah, anything that's over like the 400-pound mark is a large Goliath
Yeah.
grouper. They do supposedly they can get up to like 800 pounds. I don't know anyone who's caught one. That
Black
big,
tip caught a really, really big one on
Yeah,
YouTube. I think it was
that's
over
cool.
600 or 700.
I believe that.
But I mean, he fishes all the time. out
Right.
there.
But you talk about like strain on your body. So I just had a strap around, to be able to
Yeah.
use as a fulcrum point. My whole stomach was black and blue the next day
Yeah.
from that fight. I
I-
mean, it's intense.
Worth
Yeah. Even like
it.
shark fishing. Like, so Jacob, my business partner on Northwoods Angling, he he rented a pontoon in the Gulf of Fort Myers, and he had his tiger. He had a Shakespeare tiger, not the tiger. It was the bronze colored one, the heavy duty one,
Mhm.
and a spinning reel on it. And he hooked into an 8-foot tiger, and his buddy was so super jealous because he'd never got a tiger out there in that part of the Gulf before, and that's kind of a big fish for people to get, are big tigers out there for sharks, because there's beautiful fish.
They are so cool.
So cool. And he had a bruise like around his belly and his crotch for like 2 weeks. It was completely purple. 2.5 hours. He was undergeared for that fish.
Yeah, it's I mean, you can throw out your back very easily with those fish for sure.
What do we got? Any questions for Katie today or anyone else? What rod combo would you suggest to have to catch freshwater catfish and those sharks?
So honestly, seriously, every time I go down to Florida, I go to Walmart, I go buy a Shakespeare Tiger rod reel combo because it won't break the bank and it can handle any size fish down there. I mean, okay, if you hook a sawfish on it, good luck.
Are you talking about the white tiger with blue?
Yeah,
I've never used one.
Oh my gosh,
and they're
great.
really cheap.
That's what I've used like religiously until I started getting into more of like tournament style fishing. Even here off the docks, when I'd use like sucker minnows going for bass and pike, I would use that. I'd put 50-pound braid on it for the big pike. Good to go. Catch everything on them.
She doesn't care.
No.
She's a boss.
So if you're on a budget, sounds like a good one because she's put it to the test.
Yep. And then ugly stick's another step up from that, right? I mean,
Yeah.
everyone once again.
The ugly stick tiger.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's a great rod.
They work too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really do.
Yeah, they're more like $80 just for the rod, but they can handle anything for the most part.
Absolutely. It does look like a largemouth on steroids.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's
why-
like one too.
That's why it got my interest,
Yeah.
because it looks like a bass, and I'm
Dude,
just
they're huge. It's kind of, you got to figure out if it's a manatee or a Goliath when you're out in the water.
It literally looks
Yeah.
like a manatee. I mean,
See a big shadow come by, you're like, is that a manatee or a Goliath? That's kind of how it is down there.
it sure is. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and so that rod, like that Shakespeare rod combo, there's actually another fish that I caught, and I have a photo of it. So I was using 8-pound monoflorament. That's great.
I was going to say, is that from Florida?
Florida.
It must be from Florida.
Monofilament. And just a little shrimp, and it's that pink one right there. Up to, yep. So that was off the beach.
Oh, sick. A big drum.
Yep, that was a
Mhm.
big drum, Blackwater drum. It
Holy
was actually
smokes.
64 pounds.
What?
Yeah,
That
that's
was off the
giant.
beach on 8-pound line.
Yeah,
so,
I want to catch a big black
Is it the
drum
same one?
really
Yeah.
bad.
It's the same one.
Yeah,
right?
same one.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's
huge.
awesome.
Big
Yeah.
big chonguses
Oh,
is
yeah.
what they are.
That thing
Love
was
that.
Was there a
monster.
mahi in your pictures? Did I see? I see it. Go down a
Probably,
couple
yep,
right
yep.
there.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was
dolphin
so
fish.
funny.
Yeah, that's
So-
it.
So that was a good story too. So that was my first time fishing offshore. That was my first time fishing in the Keys. It was with my mom. So we did like a mother-daughter trip down there in Islamorada, which Islamorada is amazing. They have such an amazing fishery. So we get out there. The boat was burning diesel fumes like no one's business. There's like 4 6-foot rollers. It just was
Whoa.
not a good equation. And so my mom was down for the count right away.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like 4 rods fire off right away. So there's 4 mahi on. So I'm just starting to crank them in. Well, you get like so jazzed from the adrenaline, right? Well, then that's over. And I'm like, I look at the first mate. I'm like, which side of the boat am I going to get sick off of? Because it was girl,
I feel that.
And if you've
Yeah.
ever gotten seasick, you don't recover from it until you're off the water.
No, you
I mean,
don't.
There's no
Oh, it's
coming
miserable.
back from being. There's no coming back from it. You
Nope.
have to get on land.
Yeah, no.
So
But the fish
I
are great.
never have,
But the fish
but-
are great.
that's
Yeah.
a giant mahi, by the way. If you guys aren't familiar with saltwater fish, that was a really big
That was
mahi.
that was a trophy mahi.
Yeah.
That's like a master angler size mahi.
Yeah,
Have,
that's
you ever
huge.
tried noodling?
Say again?
Noodling?
No, I haven't done that. It's a bucket list for me.
Oh man.
There you go, crazy hillbilly. Not gonna happen.
Used to
I
be for me.
haven't caught a catfish yet this season, so
Oh.
I'm like wanting to do that.
Let's go.
I've been
You could
seeing
have came with me and Tara a couple
Jeez,
times. I didn't know you.
you guys.
I didn't know you lived 10 minutes from
I
here.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice. Like,
Well, well,
super local, which is great.
I mean, she lives in Chaska. That's
yeah,
close.
Chaska,
Yeah.
that's pretty close.
Yeah, right. You know, exactly. No, but Tara, you've been putting the smack down on the catfish. Holy
Yeah.
cow, both of you guys.
Yeah,
Big
tell us about that.
flathead
Tell us about
year.
the catfish you got, the flatheads.
Oh, it's been fun. We've been going out quite a bit,
Yeah.
and it's just this one of those special nights where you get a bunch of fish, and If you guys, by the way, that video came out today. The one I'm about to talk to came up on the channel today.
It's
Fishing on Luke. But we got a small one right away at the spot she got her PB at last year, and we ended up moving. She got a small one, and then I got just annihilated. My bullhead just got munched.
She always gets the small ones.
No,
Hey,
she
but
got
then,
the bigger
but then
one.
I get the big ones, Chewy.
It's true. So my rod smoked, and I set the hook. I knew it was it was over 30. I knew it was big right away. And then as I'm lifting my fish in the boat, and she's filming me, I moved a rod over in the video. You'll see I moved it over, and the clicker went on, and I set it straight up in the rod hole just to get it out of the way on the far end of the side of the boat. And all of a sudden, the clicker just going, and she's like, "Oh, I'm like, there's a fish on there."
Dude,
And
scared the crap out of me.
I grabbed the camera from her. She grabbed the rod and set the hook on it. And it was a 42 incher.
Oh my gosh, that's huge.
So that was a great double. That's a fun double.
It was
Jeez.
epic.
We've almost had a couple doubles this year now and missed a couple fish, but that was a good night. We got 4 that night, and then we had 4 or 5 another night. It's been good. It's been really good.
Yep.
Starting to slow down just a tad now, though. That water's 77 yesterday.
Wow.
No.
Went up a lot.
Yeah, no
So
kidding.
they're going to start
It's been
spawning.
hot.
I was gonna say spawn's pretty close, isn't it?
They're
Yeah.
spawning now. They're
Yeah.
starting for sure.
No.
That's gonna ruin Dan's plan for the catfish league this next weekend.
Oh,
People, you'll still catch fish. It's just a little harder now. It's just a little harder during
I don't
spawn.
know. I remember last year nobody logged any fish during this time.
Channel cat, because they spawn at different
Channel
times.
Cats,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe. Dan's not a channel,
Channel
cat
cats
guy.
are already
Dan, are you a
spawned.
channel cat guy?
I don't. What's that?
You a channel cat? You're not
No.
into channel cat, see?
No.
Just throw cut bait. I know Tara's
Just throw
2
cut bait.
fish during the first league night. We were both on cut.
Yeah. That was kind of strange, honestly.
Well, it's the time of the year when you do it,
Is
and
it?
Fall and spring are the best times for cut bait for flats if you're going to throw cut for flats. But
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
And
we
then-
were smoking them on bullhead, so I was fully anticipating that. But
You know, well, Dan couldn't make it, but James, his partner, he did pretty well.
how did he do?
He got a 22 pounder, I think.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it was
Whatever.
22.
Remember.
It was 22.
Which is good.
You're
I
right,
mean, it's
you're
better
right.
than
It
not
was
getting
22.
something. These are on the board.
It's better than zero.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Right,
these are on
right.
the board.
Yep, I had a heartbreaker that night, but you can't win them all, you know.
Yeah. Well, Chewy had a talk with me, and he decided that you guys should have a head start this year.
That's fair enough.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
So
It's a little early to talk. A little too early to
So I
talk.
had to go to that Eric
He
Church
did finish
concert.
last year. He finished on top of everybody by 120 pounds. So he's truly the league.
But that's like
champion.
2 days,
Jeez.
not even 2 days of fishing sometimes.
You need a bump.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
It was
someone
tough
got
for-
101
it was-
pounds
it
the
was-
first
it was-
first league.
It was
Yeah.
tough for everybody last season. It was really,
Really?
tough. Yes, it was.
Hmm.
See,
It
this is like a whole
was.
new world for me. So I'm absorbing. 'cause
Oh.
I'm just like, this is awesome.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, winning weight last week was 101 pounds with 4 fish.
Crazy.
And then second was 88. Third was a pound, less than a pound above me, and I was at 44 pounds.
Yeah.
They were like 44.7, and then Tara was right below me.
Nah, I was at 28 or something.
No, you were the next place below
Yeah,
me.
fifth place.
I got 4th, she got 5th, and she was like, yeah, 20, little less than 20 pounds below. But then it kind of dwindled down from there.
My goal was just to be on the board. So
Hey,
Yeah,
look
you
at
got
I
on the
did it.
board.
Woo!
Yeah, that's a great fish. 26 pounder.
Yeah,
That's a good
I felt
fish.
like I felt like
A
a
boss.
boss.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
All that time you've been putting in is paying off.
Right. So Katie, outside of all of this saltwater stuff,
Oh yeah.
tell us
okay.
about this YouTube channel that you're involved with.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So huge shout out to my guys, Chris and Asher on the West Coast. So they actually kind of invited me to be on their channel. They had started it. So I met Chris and I met a couple other anglers on like a bucket list trip that we put together for my dad when he was sick. We all flew out to Montana. Like we had never met in person. We just all like did this bucket list thing for my dad
That's
and we went trout
awesome.
fishing. And so we became friends. So Chris was like, hey, we're going to start up this YouTube channel. It's called The Bite. We're going to make it happen. You want to be part of it? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So started contributing. And honestly, like I have so much footage. Sorry, Chris. I have so much footage to get him. I just haven't been able to. Like
Yeah.
he's a pro at editing and everything. So it's kind of a nice mixture because it's showing the West Coast and a lot of like salmon fishing and
Mhm.
everything out there, some sturgeon, some cool ocean fishing, and then my flair of the Midwest and then a little bit of Florida. And Chris has family down in Florida too. So it's kind of a hodgepodge, if you will, but it's educational. It's meant to be fun.
Yeah.
It's also a little bit of like catch and cook too. So
Nice.
that's the channel in a nutshell.
That's cool.
So you've
Yeah,
been
it's
all
cool.
Really
over the
cool.
place.
I was meant to watch
Yeah.
some of it. I haven't gotten to see it yet, but I got the link. I'm gonna watch some of it. I haven't gotten to do it, but I will.
It's
Yeah.
a great channel. I
Yeah.
flipped through a couple.
I saw a couple.
Yeah.
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 Well, and Chris and Asher really know their stuff, especially like the areas on the West Coast. I haven't done much West Coast fishing, like really any at all. And
Mhm.
so it's really neat to like see the contrast on the channel, you know?
Yeah, for sure. So out of all these fish you've caught, do you have goals? Like, what's your goal? Do you? I mean, I feel like you've smashed everyone.
Yeah, what's your next bucket? What's your
Yeah,
next
what's the
bucket
next
list? Or-
thing for you?
Oh, that's
Tiger.
A good
It can be a size of
question.
fish
sure.
or a species of fish.
Yeah, so tiger shark is something I really do want. I haven't gotten one yet. I mean, so no offense, but we're competing, right, in this wham slam.
Yeah.
So trying to get my goal, like immediate goal, is to get all species from the wham slam covered, because I don't think a woman has done that yet for
Nope.
the last year. Because last year was the first year we did this multi-species tournament, and I missed one species, and the first and second place people
What
did
was
as
it?
well. Muskie.
Okay.
So
Oh,
and I
that'll
Piece
do
of
it.
cake.
That'll do
You
it.
can catch us on flus.
What?
I always tell people you can go cast 10,000 casts, but it's just one trolling away with the sucker minnow in the fall.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
I'll,
I don't know.
I'll cheat.
To me,
Yeah.
yeah, catching
Purists hate
catching-
that. I
catching
don't
a
hate
muskie
it.
on light bait is not my thing.
I
Yeah.
don't care.
So, I mean, I think right now I'm missing, I believe, like 4 different categories out of all of them. So I'm hoping. to
What?
get
We
those
just
done.
started.
I know.
What?
You got some work to do,
Holy
too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you
It
get.
sounds
Oh,
like.
That's what you get. You just want to be in the river.
I love the river. What do you got?
You're not gonna
I
catch a
can
muskie
catch
in
all that out
Yes,
of the
you
river.
can.
Hey,
Yeah.
and I was gonna say I
There's
haven't caught.
Yeah,
muskie.
you
I
teach
haven't
me
caught-
There's
something,
muskie.
I'll teach you
Yeah, there
something.
you go.
Let's go.
Find them.
Sand
And-
Creek.
and I-
People
and-
catch them every year.
Yeah. Well, I haven't caught a catfish yet.
Let's go.
So yeah, let's do
You
it.
max me out. I'll
And
max you out.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
This is some good hype going on here.
Girl
Yeah,
power.
fishing going on.
All right, that was a good podcast, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, and my immediate goal was to hit 100 species, but I just did that, so I'm at 102 now, which is awesome.
I've never counted mine.
Really?
I've got to be up somewhere pretty high.
I was gonna say.
I don't know
'cause you
where.
travel a lot,
I'm gonna
right?
do that. I've never
You
actually
should.
counted before.
Scotty, where are you at?
No idea.
Species.
No idea.
Dan? I know Dan.
Behind.
Dark
Behind.
flathead, light flathead, kind of dark flathead. Right,
Small
Dan?
flathead.
Do you
Wally.
microfish?
I gotta eat.
I
Yeah.
do
Wally.
Oh, you
microfish.
do. That's
I
cool.
gotta eat.
Okay.
You can
not,
scratch a lot off on that list, off the
Yeah.
species list.
Not-
Microfishing.
not only microfishing, but gold fishing, guys. So this
I've
is the
done
thing.
it.
We gotta
Oh,
get
yeah.
out.
Oh, I love it.
That was my favorite pick.
I goldfish. That's probably the same place you do.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
awesome.
I know where this
I've never
Yeah.
taken Tara there yet.
I've heard of
that,
it.
that place is cool.
There's
just
there's a
sounds
few of
cool.
those around here though.
Oh, I know right where
Yeah.
you're standing.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
That is funny. That is
Yep.
funny. The locals. Hey, it's the hashtag. If you know, you know.
Yeah. What's interesting
Yep.
is that, how many did they clear out of there?
Oh,
lot.
like 500,000.
Truckloads.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, but here's the thing: is one goldfish can lay 500,000 eggs.
They're never going away.
Yeah.
I don't even
No.
know why they took them out. I mean,
it's not gonna happen.
when you look in the water, it's just gold and brown because half of them are brown, half of them are gold.
I laughed because I was about 20 minutes away from that lake, and I was running around a neighborhood, and I looked up, and there's an osprey flying over with a huge orange goldfish.
Oh,
I'm like, I know where you were.
Wow.
So I have
That's
another.
funny.
I have another lake I can tell you about upstream that has. I don't know if they're koi or goldfish, but they're enormous.
Really?
Yeah, and
That's
there's like there used to
awesome.
be about 12 of them in there, and it's kind of in a weird spot by a highway.
Oh,
But
hey, we
Giant.
need big carp. We need a
Carp.
big carp for our
that's
wham slam,
easy.
right?
Yeah.
You haven't
okay,
gotten a
I
big
know where to
one,
get
right?
I know you can get a big.
I
carp.
got a place where you can get. It's rather close to where you live, where they're enormous,
Mhm.
Really?
really big carp, like
Mhm.
world class carp.
I think I know where that is, but
Yeah.
I haven't caught them.
You've seen them though,
I've
haven't
seen
you?
'em,
Yeah, I know. She
yeah.
knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Uh-huh.
Is it by the road?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're so big in
If
there.
you know, you know.
They're so
If you know,
big.
you know.
It's the biggest carp I've ever seen in the spot we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's funny. You know what I'm talking about.
That's awesome.
Yep, never caught one there. I've seen them.
Yeah, I mean, it is impressive to see them, and like, I don't know how to target them, so I was just like, I joined a
You
group
don't.
on
I feel
Facebook.
like
Yeah,
you
it's like when you don't, you just throw something
Yeah.
on the bottom that's soft and squishy, like
Yeah.
a worm, and
Yep.
I
Yeah,
always
they-
used to use bread. We'd squish
I've heard
bread,
bread
up.
and like
Yeah, these-
corn.
These
Yeah.
carp, that,
Bollies.
that we see are like they're like 40 to 50 pound
Wow.
yeah,
combos.
they're massive.
Giant
Mhm.
carp, like the ones bow fishermen dream of shooting, and I want to catch them on rod and reel.
That sounds
Yeah.
fun.
That would be really
Oh,
cool.
boy.
That would be really cool.
Should we look through these pictures
Yeah,
real
let's
quick?
click through some pics.
I might do a doe in here,
I was
but
gonna say I
here
can
we
give
go.
you a couple. Okay, so that
Oh,
was when Tara and I.
Smalley. That's on the
that was at our
float.
border
That's
battle.
when
on
she
the float.
smoked me.
That,
Oh, that's the float.
that building there is part of the. That's the. Is that the rest
That's
of
the
the
little
float,
restaurant.
right?
It
That's
is-
the
It is
restaurant.
amazing. You go into the building.
It's so
It's a
cool.
restaurant.
I
It's
would
bait
go there.
shop,
Can we do a podcast from there?
I don't see why we
I'm
can't.
sure.
I'm
they're
sure they
very
would let
personable.
you. Yeah, they're really
Yeah.
really nice.
They don't
They're-
stay open late though.
No, they're open from 7 to 5. So, and it's a
We could do a middle of the
2-hour
day.
drive.
Yeah, why not?
Because we can take our stuff out there on their pontoon. So whatever we need to bring out.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's cool.
Yep. So that was the same
That would
day.
be
I mean,
sweet.
I caught so many
Jeez.
fish. It was ridiculous.
She
Like my
part
top,
of-
I think my top 5 were 103 inches or something
Yep,
like that.
103 and a half.
Yeah. Oh, look at you.
Holy cow, Tara.
What?
She did her research.
I like to know.
Did her research. Yeah. So it was a lot of walleye, pike, smallies that day.
Yep.
Saugers.
Saugers. Yeah. Yeah.
She got first
Did you see
place
Tara's
smallmouth,
sauger she caught?
21 and a half inches.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That was
That's a big
huge
sauger.
one.
Yeah.
Hey, there we
Hey,
are.
there
is.
Squad
Wasn't
up.
that-
That was the first day we met.
I know.
We just knew we were gonna be friends.
Great
Wasn't
memories.
that a wham record too, Tara?
Yeah, it was a wham record.
Look at that Smalley, dude. What a football.
Yeah,
That's a
that was
big one.
tank.
Wow,
That
what'd you
thing
catch
was
it on?
nice.
Yeah.
Crankbait.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Straight crank?
Squirrel.
Oh,
Squirrel,
of course.
yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. If you know, you know.
All right. Arashi.
Yep.
Spro.
Exactly.
Of course.
Yeah.
Look at
My
that.
God.
How big was that?
That
20?
was chunk. It was no,
Jesus
it was like I think it was
Christ.
only 18, but
Wow,
it
it looks
was
huge.
Only.
Yeah.
Oh, sucker.
Big
Spotted
old
sucker.
sucker.
That was species number 100 for me right there.
Catch-
A white sucker?
Oh.
I catch
That's
those-
a
red
black-
horse?
I think it's a black sucker.
Well, I don't know anything about
Or
black
no,
suckers.
that one is a spotted sucker. Sorry,
I don't know
looked it up
those
because I
either.
had no clue. I'm like, that's
Have
a
Have you
weird
caught a
looking
blue
one.
yet?
Uh-uh.
You've seen them?
Yes.
Blue suckers?
What's
I want to catch one.
Is that a
so bad.
quillback?
That is a quillback.
Yeah.
Yep. That was
Gonna say.
species 101.
101.
101.
Is that tag too?
No, I think
No,
it just
it's
had
just a
dirt on it.
little
and
grass.
Grass. Yep. Yep.
Oh,
Okay, so
big
there's my
bowfin.
that's my mom.
Hey.
Shout out to mom.
Cool.
Yeah. So when
That's a giant
when she
bowfin.
caught
That is a
so here's the deal.
monster.
When she caught this, we didn't know it and we threw it back. It was
That's
a
the
state-
record,
it was a state
wasn't it?
record.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
huge.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen
Really?
one that
I was
big.
gonna say that's the biggest bowfin I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh
And we were
my
just like,
That was a
gosh.
state record.
AKA
It doesn't surprise me. I caught a
dogfish, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
that's
caught a 9-pounder and I thought that
Really?
was big. That's huge.
I'm
Yeah.
that's-
Yeah. That was
Oh.
like 13.
Yeah.
14 pounds.
Record's 11, right?
Yeah.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
I think so.
How-
I mean,
how
and
much
this was years ago.
How much
so-
is this
Yeah.
one?
This one was like 13, 14
Huge.
pounds, and it was like
That-
38 or something
It's so
inches.
big.
It was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was massive.
And your mom caught it?
Yep.
That's amazing.
I
That's
know.
awesome.
So that is another great memory for me. So that was down in the Keys, Almirada, my first swordfish. So that was
Yeah.
my top 3 species I've ever wanted to catch. Marlins number 1, swordfish number 2, sailfish number 3. I did a sailfish.
You've caught all the billfish?
Haven't caught marlin.
Oh. I was gonna say, holy
I
cow.
have swordfish and
I
I
told you.
and I did sailfish tournament down in the Keys, and that was a
Oh.
women's tournament. That was so cool.
That's
How
All
about
women sails.
How about that billfish tournament they do for the rich people every year?
Oh, I know.
It's how much is that win? Do they win like 20 million, or
It's
100 million
stupid.
dollars
Yeah.
It's
for
stupid
winning?
money.
Yeah, I
It's
see
all
it-
millionaires. They fish against each other.
Yeah, I see it in the Wolf Fishing Network.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
Is that the one that
Yeah.
like Michael Jordan was in?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah,
he
I'm
was.
pretty
He
sure.
was literally in. he
Oh
was in
yeah,
a
I'm sure that's
deep sea
exactly.
tournament.
That's
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
well, that's a
Yeah.
good
Oh,
larger.
yeah, that was a good larger.
Yeah,
that
it
was
is.
that was a
Yeah,
20 incher. That was the
Yeah, that's
season.
big.
Yep, that was a chunk. That was fishing opener this year. So happy to be back out.
True, you
Yeah.
get your spinnerbaits stocked up. Katie can test a couple of those bad boys.
Saturday.
I'm a big believer in spinner baits. I know
Yeah.
they're so basic, but
There's
hey,
a
they work.
shark
They
in
do
the
work.
bowl.
Yay. Yep, that was
What is that?
February. That was a new species for me too. That's a sandbar shark. So that one,
Sandbar.
that guy was 7 feet. About
Caught my first
200.
reef shark last year.
Did you?
Yeah, it wasn't very big.
Oh, well, at least you caught it.
Is it triple?
Wow.
So that was my dad and I in
Oh.
Alaska.
Oh, that's your dad.
Yeah, so that was really cool. That was like months before he was diagnosed too. So he was up there for work, which is like, oh yeah, poor you. You have to be in Alaska. for 2 days.
Yeah.
Right?
And he's like, hey, you need to find a way to get up here. So I flew in on a Friday. We fished together and did that on Saturday. We hiked on Sunday. I flew back Monday, and it was worth it.
Solid.
Like, yeah, it was
That's
totally
cool.
worth it. Yeah.
Wow.
So that was us fly fishing when he was sick. So he loved fishing for sure.
Yeah.
So good memories. Good memories. Oh yeah. So that's the WHAM award.
Hey.
So that's a specialist award just based upon the number of master anglers. So the way that our tournament, or not our tournament, but the way that our season works with women anglers is basically throughout a certain season, they count the number of master angler fish. And there's an award. I don't even know what it's called, Tara. But it's like
I don't
the
remember either.
Master Angler Award. We'll put it like that, right?
The Mega Master.
Yeah. So like,
Something like that.
you need the most amount of core fish species. So when you say core, you think of like your standard, like walleye, northern, bass, right? And then there's also this specialty category, which is more of your off-brand
Rough
fish. Yeah.
Off-brand
fish, like your consignment store fish. And so, so that's what I got. I got the consignment store prize.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Yeah, that was
funny.
this year. So, and the funny story here is I just met our president, Michelle Morey. Shout out to Michelle.
Hey, Michelle.
Michelle.
Hope she's watching.
But I met her on her dock, and like 2 days later, she was telling me when I was out there, she's like, yeah, every year I hook a big northern or muskie off this dock and I always lose it. Well, 2 days later, she hooked a muskie, a 50-inch muskie. She got it in.
Wow.
Oh, I watched that
Big one.
video. She had it. She posted
She
a
got-
video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I saw that.
Yep.
For all you South guys, that's kind of the gold number for muskie fishermen. It's a 50. So
Yeah,
Oh,
that
look
was
at
a
that.
nice fish. Yep, that was us out in Montana.
Oh,
He
that's
got his
pretty.
trout.
Were
so
you on
that's
the
cool.
Missouri River?
Yellowstone.
Oh,
Yellowstone.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
So is this the one you got the award for?
Yep, that's
Yep.
the special
Yep,
award.
those are all your fish.
Yep, those are all the master anglers that were qualified for that.
Do you fly
so.
fish?
Not well.
I'm with you there.
Look at that.
I learned out in
can't cast
Oh
Montana.
very
my
good.
gosh,
So
Katie,
that's-
you're so cool.
Oh, look
So
at that.
That's
hammerhead.
awesome.
That's the hammerhead that I was hooked up with when the Goliath happened. So got him in. I was like, oh, let's smile, and then put him back, and then got the Goliath.
How many people have told you they caught a hammerhead when they caught bonnet heads on shore?
All the
Right?
time. I also had so anyone who fishes saltwater knows that the catfish are everywhere down there, and they're not good.
And don't get poked by a sail
Yeah,
cat
so they
either.
have a neurotoxin in their
Yeah.
slime, and people actually lick them because they think that's a good idea.
Huh?
Yeah.
Dude, people like
Does it,
pass
make
out.
you trip or what?
People
Yes.
pass. Oh, people will fall over when you get stung. It's like
Yeah.
Sounds like
Wow.
Florida,
So-
though.
right.
So
Yeah.
then people lick it.
It's got to be
Yeah.
a Florida
Well,
thing.
But these catfish are everywhere, right? They're just a total nuisance. And my mom and I were fishing on the shore, and they're great shark bait.
mhm.
So we were putting some aside for shark bait, and these people came up to us and started yelling at us and said that they're endangered species and how dare us
Oh,
kill these
gosh.
catfish. And it
That's
was-
PETA there.
yeah.
Ay, ay,
I'm
ay.
glad we don't have to deal with that here.
Dude, I had someone
I've
come in.
I've never been like harassed.
I had someone come in my TikTok live stream. I had like 400 or 500 people in there, and this lady's like,
Were
"You shouldn't catch fish. It hurts fish." I was like, "Well, every biologist would disagree.
I
Pain
was
don't
on your
feel
boat
pain.
that
Fish
night.
don't feel pain like we do.
Yeah.
It's not the same."
Hey, can I do a plug for this quick?
Yeah.
So this is a local organization.
Yep.
So if anyone feels like having good in their heart and giving back to the local community, there is an organization called Chaska Area Fishing with Friends. And it's just what it sounds like. So basically, we take out kids, we take out those who have disabilities, those in the nursing home, veterans, and give them opportunities to fish. So it's a joint thing between shore fishing, and then we have a pontoon out on Lake Minnetonka. So we are always looking for volunteers and
Sign
board
me up.
members. So
Right,
yes,
right.
For
Sign
real.
me up
yes,
too.
that
Let's
would be
go.
amazing.
Like
so
you're looking
we
for
need-
boat captains, or what are you looking for?
Yes, we need boat captains desperately,
Yeah.
first mates. We also need people to help with the shore events. And I was a part of the board, and I can't with my job. I can't do it both.
Right.
So if anyone wants to be more on like the operational side, we have that kind of stuff too.
That's so
Hmm.
cool.
That's
Katie.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Gosh.
Oh, look at that bad boy.
Yeah, so that was up in Alaska too. That was my first king.
That's
ever.
cool.
And that was-
First one ever.
that was my first one ever.
Sheesh.
Mhm.
Look at that pike.
It's a nice
Yeah,
pike.
It's
It's a nice
chunk
one.
of pike. So that was
the
a good
colors
one.
on it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
So paddlefish.
Oh.
Has anyone caught a paddlefish?
I've eaten it.
I eat in it.
You have?
I
Yeah.
got a bunch.
You can eat them? I didn't
You
know you
have?
could eat them.
Where?
I've got some in my
Freezer.
freezer
Oh,
What?
to eat.
from
Yeah.
Chewy.
Really?
Somebody that comes in here brought us some shrink wrap from their trip this last year.
Really? Does it taste like chicken?
No.
No. Oh.
I
No,
don't-
but that smoked one was delicious.
The one from the last
what I've
fish,
heard is
the last
smoke it.
league meeting was pretty delicious, Tara.
Yeah. What was
Yes.
the difference there?
It was just smoked well.
That he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the difference
That
was.
was
He
pretty
knew
good.
what the
Someone
hell he
that's
was
good at
doing.
smoking fish. Is
Yeah.
what that was. What kind of shark is that?
That one was a black tip.
It's tagged.
So
That's
that was my
cool.
first tagged one, and I got to name it, so I named it Brutus.
Really?
That's awesome.
Have you
Brutus
fished the
black tip.
migration of black tips?
No,
I
but
want to try that
man,
so
would be
bad.
so cool.
If you guys
So,
don't know
so
what that
cool.
is, they come in like by the thousands on the beaches.
Yeah.
Those black tips, and then there's threshers once in a while too. And I saw my first thresher last year.
Really?
Oh,
I
it
haven't
was
seen one.
so badass.
That is so
oh my gosh,
cool.
that giant whip tail coming out of the water.
Wow. That's
But we
awesome.
didn't catch it though, so it doesn't matter.
Well, at least
That
you
one
saw
looks
it.
so cool.
Yeah, at least you know.
I
that
like that picture.
Oh, look at
Yeah, I
that.
like that
That
picture
is.
too.
That swordfish was phenomenal. Shout out to Captain Nick Stanzik.
Oh, nice
is
Jan
amazing.
there.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was out on the river. She does it all.
More smallies.
Yep, all the species.
Sturgeon.
Sturgeon.
Little
Sturgeon.
guy.
Angler sturgeon.
What's your biggest
Yeah.
sturgeon?
Not. No.
Just no.
Like 31 or 32. I haven't
Oh,
caught a
nice
big
slab.
lake sturgeon.
That's a slab right
that was
there.
that was a 14-incher.
That's a good one.
I haven't caught a big lake sturgeon. So
We're
that would be a goal.
going.
That would be a goal. I
We're
would love to
going.
get like a 50 plus. That would be awesome. Yep. Big king too on Lake Michigan.
Look at
My
that.
gosh,
Yeah.
that,
That was
photo. is
literally
what
looks
you
like
beautiful.
mine.
What,
that I
what did
caught.
you use for that?
That was trolling.
With what,
Planer
though?
boards.
How big was that?
That one was like 25.
So 38 inches or so?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the
planer
exact
boards, but
same
like-
size mine was.
Mhm.
Planer boards, but like what?
Just like big spoons.
Yeah.
Big
They run
flashy
planers,
spoons.
they run downriggers, and they got
Mhm.
black gums. That's kind of how you kind of can
It is so
instantly
cool.
tell.
Yeah. So that was my first. No, that was my second lake trout.
That's a humper.
It was
Humper
so
strain.
cool. I know.
That's
I
sweet.
was freaking out. It's beautiful.
So there's 3 strains in the Great Lakes. So in Superior, there's the Ciscoettes, the humpers, and then there's another one. I don't remember what it is, but those humpers are the most beautiful ones out of all
They
of
are
them.
stunning. They really. But the speckles on them are
Yeah,
so
goes all the way around the belly.
right.
Holy
Yeah,
Oh
smokes.
yeah,
yeah,
so that's my
bucket
biggest.
mouth.
That's my biggest bass. So that happened in February. We were
Of
staying.
this year?
Yep.
Amazing.
Yep. So it was 8.1 pounds. So
Where?
we're down in
Where?
Florida.
Definitely not in man.
That was not
in
Minnesota,
In Carver,
right?
Minnesota. No,
Not in
sorry.
February, that's for sure.
So we was down in Florida and we were staying at like a townhome area, right?
that.
And there was a little pond in the back. And
That's
I'm like,
huge.
I'm gonna take my little travel rod, 4-piece travel rod, and my baby spinner bait and just give it a shot. And I saw this big shadow. I'm like, I didn't know there's carp down here. And I looked, I'm like, oh, okay, that's a bass. So the next morning, I'm like, I want this thing. And I cast and I cast and I cast, and sure enough, finally got him. So
I've heard like the golf course ponds and stuff down there
Yeah.
are amazing.
And
They
now
are.
they're
bass.
now
They
they're
are.
anal about it because everyone's on YouTube's doing golf course pond videos, so everyone wants to
Right.
go try, and then they get kicked out.
Oh,
My aunt's neighborhood has ponds like that, and I've never fished them yet. And
Well,
I
now
would
you
imagine
know.
that
I'm
there's
with
big
you.
bass in there.
I had no idea.
Oh, there's
I had
monsters
no
in there,
idea.
guaranteed.
Yeah, that was a very happy
I
accident.
would never fish a pond in Florida.
Gators?
You afraid of
Yep.
gators?
Yeah, there's gator signs all around the ponds too.
I feel like
I
it
have
would make
hooked
it
a
a little
gator.
more
I'm
interesting.
saying,
hooked one?
imagine
I
it
have
running.
Might be kind of
on
fun.
purpose?
No, I had one take my fish.
Oh,
so I
did
was
you?
bringing in a snook. Yeah, and it was like a 10-foot gator too in Everglades. I grabbed it. I'm like, you can have it. That's okay.
Right.
You can have it. And then my
I would have landed it.
Yeah, right.
have any of you guys kayak fished at
3
all?
pairs of.
Yeah.
Not really.
Oh yeah, a little
Okay.
bit.
I would have landed it.
I don't like it.
I
I've
don't
only
have
done
a
it-
kayak.
Only done it once. Only done it once. I will never do it again. At least not in Florida, because I was by myself. I was like backwaters. I was in this kayak and I get bumped. And I thought it was another newbie like me who just smashed
Oh,
into me.
gator
I
bump.
look around. I'm like, there's no one here. I thought it was a gator, so I'm having a heart attack. All of a sudden, I hear like this big psh. It was a manatee.
I was gonna say, but it's a manatee.
Manatee bumped me with its
Oh,
nose.
he was just
and then-
he's just booping you.
Yeah, just giving you a poop.
They're so nice.
Exactly. I was like, okay, you're a friendly face.
Wow.
But
Yeah, they're enormous.
I wouldn't want to get booped.
If you guys don't know what a manatee is, a manatee is literally a giant sea cow. They're the most gentle, like giant. They eat plants, and anytime you're around a dock with fresh water running on it, they're sitting there with their mouth open underneath the fresh water. It's the first night we came back, or the second trip we came back from our trip. We got back to the docks at like 1 a.m. with our rental boat. Apparently, that's a big no-no. And
Whoops.
we're banned for life. And we're spraying the boat off at night, getting the salt water off because like we kept it clean. And I look down and there's like this 10-foot, 2,000-pound manatee with his face staring at me like drinking the water out of my hose that I'm spraying the boat with. And I just like, you're not supposed to interact with manatees in Florida or even give them water. I didn't know that, but I like just like I
Why
kept
wouldn't
it
you?
going, and it just literally opened its mouth right over the hose and just started drinking it. And
Just like a puppy.
From me to you away.
That's so cute.
I could have
Yeah,
pet
they're
it, but my buddy's
cute.
like, "Don't pet them," and you don't want to interact with manatees.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to.
But why though?
Yeah, why?
They're protected.
They are
Oh.
protected.
Oh, but I
okay.
thought because they would bite you or something.
No,
Okay,
no, no. They
Yeah,
won't
gummy
bite
to
you.
death.
They're the nicest freaking. They're
Won't
just
matter.
dude. They're so cool.
They
And
are.
they ain't
And when
gonna
you
bite.
when you're fishing on like the bank or by the beach and you see a giant shadow 12 feet long, it's a couple thousand pound manatee just swimming
Yeah.
by you.
The babies are just.
Oh my
cute.
gosh.
Oh.
I would have landed that alligator.
Oh, he's still on the
Stuck
gator.
Really, think about it.
Yeah, what's
But he
How-
doesn't want to get
how
pooped by a
long was it?
manatee.
It was like a 10-footer. Yeah, it was a big one.
What are you gonna do with that? You're
Yeah,
so
Three pairs of boots, 2 belts, and maybe 6 wallets. Maybe.
Anyone watch Swamp People?
Easy.
We want the
Shoot 'em
skin.
with
Easy,
it.
bro.
But you gotta have a tag to
Easy,
do that.
bro.
You can't just kill a gator.
No. Yeah,
Those are the black markets for it then.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, that's turned south quick.
Man,
Oh, wow.
we should have man, we should have put up some more pictures. This is
I know. I had so many.
She's
eyes.
caught so many
told
species.
ya.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like she's the one.
I got this crazy fish lady. There are crazy cat ladies out there. I'm just a crazy fish lady.
Love
you
it.
know, it could be worse things, I guess.
Love it.
Mhm.
But
Love it.
yeah. What's the weirdest thing you guys have caught? Like animal, not a fish.
like an object.
Or object.
goose.
Object's fine.
What?
Goose,
Really?
bass fishing, frog.
Oh.
I snagged a pelican in Florida.
Did you?
Yeah, they're dumb.
They are.
They come dive bombing your baits. It's so stupid. Or they fly into your line.
I've almost gotten a bat a few times, like down south
Oh
in the
my
middle of the
God.
night.
Yeah,
Really?
they will.
Oh yeah, they.
I had a
Yes.
loon on and it got off. Thank God.
Yeah,
Well, you
really.
try to cast away from them because they keep diving around and then
Yeah.
they're under.
Yeah, you
And
can't
it
tell.
hit it, and I'm so glad I didn't hook it because I have heard that's the
Oh.
worst. Like, not only do I not want to hook a loon because I love loons and they're beautiful,
Right.
but they are vicious animals when you get them up to the boat if you
Oh, I'm
actually hook
sure.
one.
Really?
Yeah.
Those beaks are peckers, man. Like, that's like hooking a heron. Like when people hunt sandhill cranes, all the dogs have to wear goggles that go retrieve them because they'll peck their eyes out.
Yeah.
I didn't even
I've
know
seen
people
that.
hunt those.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Either.
Yeah,
Huh.
they're
They're
say the
good.
most
Yeah.
delicious bird you can eat.
Yeah.
Really?
yeah. A lot of
Yeah.
guys go down to like down south and you can hunt sandhills.
Oh.
Mhm.
learned
Rib
something
eye of
new.
the sky.
Right by the sky, yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right over the sky. That's right.
I was
Down.
coming down the river about 2 days ago, midnight, and my buddy in front goes, "Deer!" I almost hit a deer in the river on the way back.
Oh, swimming
It was so.
We had a raccoon. Was it with me and you?
Yes, a
Deer, what?
raccoon.
Yeah, I've
A
seen
raccoon.
deer, and then last week we had a raccoon swimming across the river. When I went by, I was like, that was not a beaver.
Yeah.
Oh. Hey, when I went back to the float,
Yeah.
there was a huge snake. Like there were actually 3 of them
Big
that
bull
crossed the
snakes,
river.
probably,
They
huh?
crossed the river and they were like stuck in the current. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they were trying to get to the shore.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Hard pass.
See right there again.
Call them nope ropes.
Tacos.
No, tacos.
Snake tacos.
Goodness, Chewy.
That's another belt.
That's another belt.
There you go. There you go.
That's awesome.
Missing too much money here. What's your favorite lure to cast for a largemouth bass?
For largemouth, depends on the time of year. It's still a loaded question. Sorry. Right now I like jerkbaits. I mean, it's getting kind of close to the end of jerkbait season, but like early season, they are so effective, and it's a test of your patience, right? Because they say let it sit for 30 seconds. You know how long 30 seconds is?
Girl.
You're throwing a
Like,
jerk bait, you said?
yeah. I mean, I do like the jerkbaits. A personal goal of mine, I do not know how to use drop shot at all. Some of my friends are really, really good at it. And so that's something I want to learn this year to get more
I'm not
finesse.
very
and,
good at it either.
Yeah. So
I wanna
that,
be better.
I,
I don't
that, I
run
gave you
'em
I gave you my favorite and
a
my least
lot.
favorite, I guess, or least skilled. but
Yeah.
I know a guy that if he stops using that rig, he'll probably start winning some tournaments.
You
Don't
drop
look at
shot?
me.
You drop shot a lot?
No, I don't.
Jay.
I do it for smallie more than
Oh.
anything, but
Yeah.
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 No, I run a lot of I'm more old school.
Are you?
Texas rig.
Texas
long
rig, baby.
worms,
Yeah. I
Carolina.
Carolina rig.
would say I'm more like moving baits and casting baits,
Jigs.
but I'm trying to bolster the finesse.
That's the
stuff.
hardest part about
spinner baits.
Yeah.
Blade combination.
Yeah. Blades are always, for me, my favorite is double willow gold.
She knows exactly.
He makes custom spinner baits.
The Goliath load is
Ooh.
yeah,
They're
that's,
real
very
They're
common.
awesome, Katie.
They are.
They are.
That's like the number one color that I get requests for when guys are tournament fishing, and each one has a different, like maybe 6 strands of red,
Yeah.
6 strands of
Oh.
silver.
Yep.
It's so weird how they all fish the same thing.
You got to give her one of your
Yeah,
special lures to try out, huh?
I was gonna say I'll pay for it,
no,
but
it's not that.
You gotta talk to
It's
Scotty.
not that.
If you lose
it's-
it, you got to go and get it.
It's so
It's not
that
patented.
secret.
Yep, you
So he
lose it,
does
I'll
like
give it back.
he does bait design too.
that's so cool. I didn't
Yeah.
know
But-
that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, so I have a partnership with Stanley Jigs out of Texas and Clifford. If you're watching, shout out to you. But they make this, and I'm not like shy about it. I put it on my social media all the time. There is a specific spinnerbait that is my go-to spinnerbait. It's hooked muskie, pike, bass, smallies. Like
What'd
it's
you
just it's
do?
killer. It's the gold and it's a red head. It's a
Yeah.
red head like
Mm-hmm.
you're talking about, and then
Mhm.
it's like the shad colors and the orange and all of that. It's just I don't know what it is about
Kind
it.
of like that one in there right now, isn't it?
It sounds like yours, kind of.
No, that was close. It was close to it. That was what we called it Minnetonka Sunrise.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
a weird.
And then
Weird.
Ned. I'm getting
Jig-
into the Ned.
I like
thing.
Yeah.
running
Jig
Same.
it.
Missile Baits. I'm partnered with them too, and they make like this little trailer. That's the Ned bomb. It's called, and it has like a little tail on the
That's
Ned.
a twister tail on the end. I've seen
my
those.
friend,
they're
my friend.
phenomenal.
I don't know. My friend Barb, is she in Wham?
Barb Carey.
Barb, no.
I don't think
It's one of my friends I fish with up north, up by Bemidji, and she's really good. She's a super good angler too. And I got her on Ned rigs last year, and first one she got was like 21 smallmouth.
Jeez.
I was like, she's like, I've never used these. I was like, you should. 'cause
Now
they're-
you will.
Apparently, you know how to use them.
They're great for multi-species as well. Like,
Yeah,
I've
walleye.
caught walleye on
Yeah,
them.
you
I've
can-
caught
yeah.
bass on them. Like big
Pike,
crappie.
Yeah,
Pike will hit them too.
I've been running wacky rigs a little now and
God.
learning that. And
Give me just a quick second.
yeah,
Dan,
Oh, here he
you want a
goes.
pillow?
Why?
Well, I figured by now you'd be falling asleep with all this bass talk.
Oh,
He's pushing through. He's pushing through.
worst part about being a bass fisherman is telling your
Hey.
parents.
Oh.
Okay, there we go. He's back.
He's back.
Disappointed. Lucky gave me.
I was just about to say, isn't it funny how he really hasn't said anything in this podcast?
You're right. Well, it's a lot to listen to. It's
Yeah.
awesome stories.
I bet you the
Yeah.
first thing he thought when he saw that swordfish was, I wonder how a dude cut bait. In the
Yeah,
Minnesota River.
right.
that's funny.
That's
Wow, this is great.
This is the longest podcast we've had, and I think we could go
Yeah.
longer.
I'm saying
I was going to say sorry for talking.
We can
so
do a
long.
round two and
I
save
love
some
that.
for another time too.
Yeah,
let's do
That
it.
would-
And
I
next
got
time we'll
plenty
do
more.
more fresh ones.
No, we can talk. Maybe she'll have a big cat by then this
Yeah,
year,
she's
and
probably
see.
got a couple
Yeah.
more master
Let's
class
go make a
fish. I'm
story
sure.
to talk about.
We'll,
Yeah.
we'll give her a
Yeah.
decent, give her a chance. I mean, what's the time?
What do you
frame?
need? Like
She
2
doesn't,
days?
doesn't sound like she needs a time
3.
frame.
Maybe 3. No,
Give
I'm
her a
kidding.
week.
Give her a week.
She's
Maybe-
itching
maybe-
right now. She's
maybe
like, I
we'll-
gotta go fishing.
Maybe we'll
Right.
have her.
Let's
Let's have her on in the fall again, and
Yeah.
after she gets some sturgeon with Tara,
For sure.
and
That'll be
That'd be
so fun.
awesome.
and we
Let's do
can
it.
talk about
Oh my
that.
gosh.
And she'll probably have a big flathead and channel cat by then
Yeah,
too
that
this
way
year.
might-
So
Yeah,
Cool.
that would make
maybe a blue cat if you travel. Have you caught a blue cat yet?
No.
Oh,
that's on my
geez.
list too.
Oh yeah.
You want to go cross that off together?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
It's on
Yeah,
my
you should take
list.
her to blue cat. Then she
Yeah.
won't quit bothering me about it.
Oh, relax. Ay, ay, ay. Goodness.
It is true though. It is true.
I was gonna say it sounded very genuine.
Using my resources.
Yeah.
Luke, we're in here, just me and Luke, and Luke would say, "I'm gonna go out. I think I'm gonna go out fishing tonight," and then we'll walk out, and Tara will be in the truck.
I'm ready.
Predictable,
Yeah.
consistent,
Yeah.
consistent. Yeah,
I'm like, what happened? when did she get here?
All right. She sneaks in.
that's awesome.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
I love it.
Awesome.
But
Well, guys,
So-
thank you so much for having
Yeah,
me
we
on. This is
appreciate you
great.
coming
I really
on.
appreciate it.
if you guys want to follow her fishing adventures, you can find her on Instagram. She's all over Instagram.
Yep.
That's where I started talking to her a couple of years ago. Actually, I
Yeah.
think it was about YouTube, maybe.
I think so.
I think it
something like
was,
that.
or Catfish or YouTube, one of the two.
Yep.
And so I've been following her for a while now, and she catches, you guys, as you guys heard, she catches a lot of fish.
Every-
She slays.
And this was Tara's idea to have her in here, and I'm kind of stealing her outro, but she
Let
probably
her
had a whole
rip.
paragraph written down there.
I've said it 45
But
times.
Tara
I'm sure I'm on the way
said-
here.
Tara said she's the best female angler she knows, and I would imagine she's one of the best anglers I know.
Absolutely.
Thank you
But,
guys.
yeah,
I paid them under the
I'm
table
really-
for that.
Tara said
I'm
she's
really
one of the
impressed.
Tara
I'm
said
really
she's one of the
impressed.
nicest people you'll ever meet. I agree. You were very
Great,
kind,
Thank you,
very
guys.
nice.
very
Appreciate
knowledgeable. If you guys want to watch her story and her what she's doing this year, MissFishWhisperer on Instagram.
Yep.
We'll leave her link in the description below. But
Yeah.
it's a pleasure having you on. Thank you for joining
Likewise.
us.
Thank you guys so much for the opportunity.
And
Appreciate it.
from Old Carver Fishing Bait and Tackle, we will see you guys on the next podcast. Easy to talk when you've got every species.
Right?